It's not possible, right? Now no printouts. It's complete lockdown. Right, taking printouts, is it possible?
No, sir.
Maybe I should not ask that. So what? I understand, right? I understand, right? So instead of that, what we'll do is I'll be using GeoGebra, right? So I have a provision to what export images into GeoGebra. So I'll use, right. I'll export it to GeoGebra. There I can actually what draw straight lines, circles, right? Blah blah blah. All those things I can do. So I expect even you also to actually what do that, right? So I'll tell you, right, first how to use GeoGebra to solve Smith chart problems. Right. I'll tell you that. So first, if you all are familiar with GeoGebra, so if you go to geogebra.org, right, or GeoGebra graphing calculator, right. So you will reach here, right, geogebra.org. Then you should use GeoGebra graphing calculator, not GeoGebra classic. You should use GeoGebra graphing calculator. So I'll just Control C and Control V it here in your chat window, right? That link you already might have used it, right? You already might have used it, so you should be using GeoGebra graphing calculator, not GeoGebra Classic. Even if you use GeoGebra Classic, you will be able to do that. But I think GeoGebra graphing calculator it's a bit more convenient. So I forgot to tell intro today, right? Maybe when it goes to YouTube, there should be some intro. Right, I missed it. So once again, welcome to microwaves and antennas. We are discussing about Smith chart. So today we'll try and solve some problems on actually what Smith chart. Right. So for that we'll be using GeoGebra, right, graphing calculator. So I have posted this link here. You should be using GeoGebra graphing calculator, not classic. Right. So once I open that, so okay, so it's I was already actually what trying out. So right, so GeoGebra calculator. So I don't want the axis or anything, right? So I won't show. I'll just give, and I don't want axis grid or anything. Why? Because I'm going to import one image to it, right? So I just removed, right? So that if you don't do that, also would be fine, right? That won't be a problem. So then, what you should do is you can see here, right? So there is a calculator symbol. All of you can see my mouse pointer. All of you can see. All of please respond. Yeah. So and there is actually what this one tools, right? If you go to tools, right, that is second one. There you can see under media, you can see there is an option to import image, right? So there is an option to import image. So before you do this, you make sure you have a JPEG or image format, not PDF, image format of your Smith chart, right, saved in some place in your hard disk, right, somewhere in your laptop, right, or PC or whatever, right. So then if you click image, right, it will either if you want to actually directly capture image from webcam, that you can do simply when you are getting bored, right, just switch on the webcam, capture an image, put it in GeoGebra, draw markings on that. You can draw circle on your face, where that is one option. Other one is actually what you can choose a file. If you already have a file, you go to choose file. So now I have saved my Smith chart JPEG on desktop, right? So it's there on desktop. That's why I'll just select that. I'll click open, right? Again, if I give OK, yeah, Smith chart came, right? Smith chart appeared, right? Smith chart appeared, right? So now this is our Smith chart, right? So and as we have seen, you are familiar with actually what constant R circles, constant X circles, all those steps, right? So yeah, right. So I'm not like repeating that again. But what we'll do is we'll come back to the Smith chart with a problem. So I'll just write a problem first. Right. I'll just write a problem first. Right. Then we'll see how to solve that problem using Smith chart. Right. That is what we are going to do now. Right. Very basic problem. Right. Right. So I'll write that problem down here. Before that, I'll insert some extra pages. Right. I'll write the problem down here. All of you, please take down this problem, right? And please listen carefully. I'll share this JPEG file of Smith chart. You can actually try it out, right? So otherwise, for exam, right, when you are writing offline exam, right, you should need compass, scale, pencil, and all those stuffs, right? So here, it's GeoGebra, right? Okay, fine. So I'll write the problem, right? The problem is, right, okay, There is a transmission line, right, of length L. We don't know what is the length, that is not given, right. There is a load impedance ZL, right, and it has a characteristic impedance Z0, right. Characteristic impedance of this transmission line is given as 400 ohm, right. Characteristic impedance given as 400 ohm, and load impedance is equal to 120 plus J 160 ohm. 120 plus J 160 ohm. This is the load impedance, right? This is the load impedance. So this is actually what D equals 0 and D equals L, or Z equals 0, Z equals L. And I'll tell this load impedance at D equal to 0. At load end, the impedance is fixed by this, right? Z at D equals 0 is equal to ZL, right? This is actually what line impedance. Line impedance at D equal to 0 is ZL. That is given, right? And I know, right? Suppose if we are moving along the transmission line from the load end towards the source end, right? D increases, and that corresponds to actually what? Clockwise rotation in Smith chart. That corresponds to clockwise rotation in Smith chart, right? If I'm moving from right to left, that corresponds to clockwise rotation. And if I'm moving from left to right, that corresponds to actually what? Anti-clockwise rotation. This is clockwise, this is anti-clockwise. I'm just recollecting all those things, right? This is not a part of question, right? So what is given as ZL is equal to 120 plus J 160 ohm, and Z0 is equal to 400 ohm, right? Z0 is equal to 400 ohm. You have to find out, right? You have to find out A, right? Control Z. Okay, this Z is a problem, right? Z, when I write small z and capital Z, right, it becomes a problem. So I'll write, right, maximum normalized impedance, right? You should find maximum normalized impedance, right? That is Z max, right? If you know maximum normalized impedance, you can also find maximum impedance. If you multiply it with actually what? Z0 you will get, right? Then B is actually what? Minimum normalized impedance, that is Z min, right? C, standing wave ratio, right? C is standing wave ratio, right? Then D is actually what? Position of Vmax and Vmin, right? That you have to find it in terms of D, that is as distance from load, right? You should find position of Vmax and Vmin, right? Then you have to find, right? The question E is actually what you should find: reflection coefficient gamma L as actually what? Mode of gamma L into e power j eta L. Both magnitude and phase you have to find. Magnitude and phase of this. These things you have to find, right? These are the things you have to find. So first, right, and for what are given are, right, ZL is given, Z0 is given. So whatever it is, right, if you have to solve it using Smith chart, right, first and foremost step should be what? Converting the given load impedance into normalized impedance, right? That should be the first and foremost step. So that I'm going to do now, right? So I think all of you have taken down. So first step will be actually what? Normalize the given impedance, right? Normalize given impedance, right? Normalize the given impedance, right? So I will write it as small z, right? I'll write small z is equal to, small z is equal to, all of you please take it down along with me itself, right? ZL by Z0, that is equal to 1 by 400. 1 by Z0 is 1 by 400 into, what was ZL? Can anyone tell me? I don't want to scroll up. What was ZL? was it 140 plus J 120 ohm?
$120 plus J 160.
Yes, I knew that. Thank you. Right. Thank you, Sherwin. So please interact so that I will not feel lonely. Right. So it's 120 plus J 160 ohm, right? Sorry. 120 plus J 160. Right. So this is equal to, what is 120 by 400? So this is equal to actually what? R plus Jx. So what is 120 by 400? So I'll write 120 by 400 plus J times 160 by 400. So can anyone tell me what are these? 120 by 400, is it 0.3 plus 160 by 400, is it equal to 0.4? Right. Can anyone please confirm this? So this should be our R and this should be our X. Right. This should be our R and that should be our X. Can anyone confirm that? Right. Right. So whether R is equal to 0.3 and X is equal to 0.4, please confirm. Right, please confirm. So we are getting R is equal to 0.3 and X is equal to 0.4. Right. So now what I should do is, if I have to locate this impedance on Smith chart, I should find the point of intersection of circle R equal to 0.3 and X equal to 0.4. Right. So if I have to locate the point Z, load impedance point on Smith chart, right, to locate normalized load impedance point on Smith chart, what I should do? Right. I should find point of intersection of I have written inter and all. Right. Please. Right. Point of intersection of the circles R equal to 0.3 and X equal to 0.4. This is what we are going to mark. So this R is 0.3 and X is 0.4. X is positive, so it will be happening actually what? On the upper hemisphere or upper semicircle. Right. Right. So is it clear? Till here, is it clear? Given ZL and Z0, what we did is we found the normalized impedance. We found the real part of normalized impedance and imaginary part of normalized impedance. So we know the value of R and X. So now, like in our actually what XY plane, how you locate the point X comma Y? So X equal to a constant will be a straight line parallel to Y axis, and Y equal to constant will be another straight line parallel to X axis. The point of intersection of that will be actually what? The coordinate X comma Y. So similarly, in Smith chart, instead of the straight line, R equal to constant is a circle, right? And X equal to constant is another circle. So the point of intersection of those two will be our point. Is it clear? What are we going to do on Smith chart? Now I'm going to mark the point Z on Smith chart. Right. Is it clear? Right. Please, maybe what you can do is, whatever I am doing on Smith chart, you can just rough sketches you can draw on your notebook. Right. Okay. 0.3 plus J 0.4, it's correct. Yes, sir. I go. So shall we proceed towards Smith chart now? All are here? All are with me? Yeah. So maybe we'll proceed towards Smith chart now. Right. So if you see, what is the point we have to find out? So I'll take pen here, for instance. Right. I'll take a pen here, for instance. Right. So what is the point we have to find out? We have to find Z is equal to 0.3 plus J 0.4. That is, R is equal to 0.3 and x is equal to 0.4. This is what we have to find, right? So now I'll zoom it in a bit, right? Or else I'll zoom out for the time being, and then later on I'll zoom it in, right? So as our entire this story happens in positive, right? For positive x, so I'll just, right, I'll consider only this part for the time being now, right? Why? Because I can't fit in the entire Smith chart within my window, right? So yeah, so I am zooming it in, right? I am zooming it in. So what we know in Smith chart is actually what? Smith chart, we have constant R circles and constant X circles, right? So now if you see this point, extreme left point of Smith chart, that is actually what we know, that is that extreme left point is short circuit point, right? Extreme left point is short circuit point, and extreme right point, it is actually what? Open circuit point. Extreme right point is open circuit point, right? So then, and this circle, the outermost circle, I hope you can see, right? This outermost circle, right? That is actually what? R equal to 0. And if you see, this is R equal to 0.1, R equal to 0.2. I don't know whether you are able to see, R equal to 0.3. So this circle, right? This circle is R equal to 0.3, right? Are you able to see this? Whatever I am marking, right? This particular circle is R equal to 0.3. So what you should do is, when you are doing it in paper with pencil, you just mark a dotted line along that circle, so that you will get, okay, you have identified that circle. That is actually what? R equal to 0.3, right? That circle is R equal to 0.3, right? Are you okay with this? Are you able to accept the fact that I have located R equal to 0.3 circle? So I'll write here, this circle is actually what? R equals 0.3 circle, right? Is it okay? Please, okay, yeah, fine. Thank you so much, right? Now, next I should look for x equal to 0.4, right? X equal to 0.4. We know x equal to 0 is this straight line, right? This straight line is x equal to 0, right? X equal to 0 is that straight line. You can see x equal to actually what? 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4 is here. X equal to 0.4, actually what? It is this line, right? It is this line, x equal to 0.4, right? X equal to 0.4 is this line. It's marked here also, right? So the point of intersection of, right? So this is actually what? X equal to 0.4, right? So the point of intersection of R equal to 0.3 and say x equal to 0.4, it is this, right? It is this point, right? It is this point. All of you are able to see, I guess, right? This is the point of intersection of, say, maybe I'll mark it as a point, right? As a point, right? So this point C, right? Point C, it is point of intersection of actually what? All of you are able to see this? Right. Color, I'll make a little bit dark color. Right. This point C, it is the point of intersection of R equal to 0.3 and Z equal to X equal to 0.4. Right. I hope all of you are able to appreciate this. How did I find? Is it okay? Right. So now that we have located the impedance point, normalized impedance point on Smith chart. Right. So next, I'm also going to mark actually what? The center, right? Center of the Smith chart. Center of the Smith chart, maybe I should zoom it in and then mark. So this is the center of Smith chart. I'm marking center of Smith chart. It is point D. Point D is center of Smith chart. Right. Point D is center of Smith chart. Again, the color I'll change to say same. Red. Right. So now all of you are able to see point D. So next, so now that I have located point C and point D, right? First, what we have to find out? What is the first thing we have to find out? Can anyone tell me? Or should I go back to the, right? First thing what we have to find out is, right, maximum normalized impedance and minimum normalized impedance, right? Maximum and minimum normalized impedance, right? So which means here the impedance is ZL. Maybe the impedance distribution is something like this. If I plot, right, the impedance distribution, normalized impedance distribution, right, if it is something like this, right, so at load and this is the impedance, right, so when I move from load towards the generator, right, here I am seeing a minimum impedance, here I am seeing a maximum impedance, right, so the question is, what is the maximum impedance, what is the minimum impedance? And for a lossless line, it will repeat. Maximum and minimum impedance will be same throughout the length, and it will repeat. So we need to find Zmax and Zmin, right? To find Zmax and Zmin, what we should do is we should draw constant SWR circle, right? To find Zmax and Zmin, what we should do is we should draw constant SWR circle. What is that constant SWR circle? Right, for that I have an option, right, in this GeoGebra, right, I'm going to circle. So here you can see under circles, circle with a center, right, so that I am selecting. So now I'm going to draw a circle with D as center. Now I'm going to draw a circle with D as center and DC, right, DC as radius, right, D as center and DC as radius. So I have drawn a circle. I think it's not visible to you. I'll just change its color to red, right, and I'll line thickness I'll increase, right, so the line thickness I'll increase, right. Now I have drawn a circle, right, I have drawn a circle, right. If you see that, right, the center is D and the radius is equal to actually what, this DC, right, that circle is what I have drawn, right. Did you understand what I have done now? So this is called constant SWR circle. This circle is called constant standing wave ratio circle, right. So I'll repeat. Initially we identified the point Z, right. Which one is easier, using this graph or using Z of tan alpha H plus Z naught of cot alpha H divided by that using complex analytical equation? Which one do you think is easy, using Smith chart or using analytical equation, right? Please tell me now, right, as you are not familiar with Smith chart, right, and it's not actually what a one-to-one session, right, and it's an online session. It's even, right, I know it's little bit difficult to appreciate whatever I'm telling, right, but right. So what I have done so far, I located, how many of you understood how a load impedance point is located on Smith chart? How many of you understood how a load impedance point is located on Smith chart? Please type in. If you have understood how to locate a load impedance point on Smith chart, please type in yes. Right. Okay. And how many of you understood how to draw a constant standing wave ratio circle? So I'll repeat. Once you located the load impedance point, then what you should do is you take a compass, right? You draw a circle with center as origin. Origin is actually what, this midpoint of Smith chart, right? Midpoint of Smith chart, right? That is, you, if you see this extreme open circuited point is actually what, I'll write once again that, maybe I should write that again, right? Right. This open circuited point, right? This is gamma R equal to 1 and gamma I equal to 0. Short circuited point is R equal to -1 and gamma I equal to 0. And this is the center, that is actually what, the point 0, 0, right? This point D is actually what, center of Smith chart, that is 0, 0. Real part is 0, imaginary part is 0. And if you ask me where is the say imaginary axis, real and imaginary axis we have not shown here, right? If you want to see the imaginary axis, of course I can show that, right? So sorry, 1 second, right? 1 second, right? So this is the problem with, okay, that is not imaginary axis, by mistake it happened, right? Now I should give Control Z, again Control Z, right? Okay, fine. Okay, maybe this system is a bit slow. That's why it's giving this trouble. Please forgive. Right. Second. Right. Uh, right. Yeah. It's distorted now, right? This circle became ellipse or something, right? But it's okay, not a problem, right? Right. So this is actually the sender. D is the sender, right? D is the sender. Then I told this circle, this red circle is called actually what? Constant standing wave ratio circle. This circle is called constant SWR circle. So I'll just write it there, right? I'll just write it there. This is actually what this is called, constant SWR circle. And this constant SWR circle, you can see it intersects the real axis. So this is real axis, right? This is real axis. It intersects the real axis at 2 points. One is this point and the other one is actually what, on the left hand side of the origin, right? So I'll mark those points. I'll mark those points. So one point is actually what, this, right? It intersects here. That is one point, right? E, and the other point is this, and other point is this. Maybe I should change the color. Right, color I'll change to red. Right, E, and I'll get excuse me, right. E and F. Okay, it's still, I think it's okay, fine. I think you can see this. So E and F, it intersects at 2 points, E and F, right? So this E will be actually what I've already told in last class, right? If you want to find the maximum impedance, right? So that will be this E, right? The R value corresponding to this E will be actually what? Maximum impedance, right? So that is, as this is open circuited point, right? So towards the right, actually, there was one point, right? So I don't remember the exact point number, right? So maybe point number 9, if you see, right? The horizontal radius to the right of this chart center corresponds to Vmax, I mean, Zmax, and standing wave ratio, right? So this point E, the R value corresponding to this point E, that will be your Z max, and that is numerically equal to actually what? Standing wave ratio, right? So let us zoom in and see what actually is that. If you zoom in, you can see here actually what this is, R equal to 2, right? R equal to 3, right? And this is R equal to 4. So it is between R equal to 3 and R equal to 4. So in between, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 segments are there. So it will be 3.2, 3.4, 3.6, and 3.8, right? So that will be 3.8, right? That will be 3.8, right? So we can note it down. So I'm seeing the R value, right? R value corresponding to this point E. So this is actually what? The Z max point. This is the Z max point, right? Or I'll write here, Z max point is that, right? And that is numerically equal to rho, and that is given by the R value. So the R value there is actually what? If you see 3, this is 3, and this is towards the right, this one is 4, right? So the R value corresponding to this point E is actually what? 3.2, 4, 6, and 8. 3.8, right? 3. It's actually what? In between 3.8 and actually 4, right? For instance, we'll approximately take equal to actually what? 3.8. So that value will take equal to 3.8. So just just I'm writing it down, right? I am writing it down here, right? So Z max that is equal to rho that is equal to 3.8, right? Z max that is equal to rho that is equal to 3.8, right? So I have noted it down. How did I note it down? The constant standing wave ratio circle where it intersects towards the right of the origin, right? The real axis, right? So that point corresponds to Z max or V max or I min or rho, right? So that Z max that is numerically equal to rho that is equal to 3.8, right? This is normalized impedance. Normalized impedance Z max equal to 3.8. So, and this point F, this point will be, right? This will be corresponding to Z min, and that will be equal to 1 by rho. So as these 2 points are diametrically opposite, E and F are diametrically opposite, right? If I zoom in and see, this F should be, right, this F or 1 by rho, that should be actually what, approximately equal to 1 by 3.8, or it should be equal to 1 by 3.8, reciprocal of this. So can anyone tell me what is 1 by 3.8? Can anyone tell me what is 1 by 3.8? Please. What is 1 by 3.8?
0.263.
0.263. So I am telling this point should be somewhere around 0.26. So shall we zoom in and see? We'll zoom in and see. Right. So when you see here, right, this point, if you see, I'll just, all of you are able to see my mouse pointer and pen. I think this is actually 0.2 and this is 0.3. So this point lies between 0.2 and 0.3. So in between there are 5 divisions. So it is 0.2, 0.22, 0.24, 0.26. So what was the value you told, Sherwin?
0.26.
0.26. So we are getting 0.26, right? Luckily we are getting you can see this is 0.2, right? This is 0.2 and this is 0.3. This line is 0.3, right? This line is 0.3 and this line is, this circle is 0.2, right? So it is lying in between. So there are 1, 2, third division, right? Third division. So it will be 0.2, 2, 0.24, 0.26. So Z min we are getting, right? Z min we are getting, right? Z min is equal to 0.26. We are getting it correctly. We are getting, right? Z max and Z min. So that will be equal to 1 by rho, right? Did you get how did we find this? So what we have to do is where it intersects with the real axis, and at that point R value, that is what we have to find, right? So now I'll write here, right? Now I'll come back and write here. Please tell me what are the Z max and Z min value we got, right? So what is the Z max value we got? Z max value we got is 3.8, right? And Z min value we got is 0.26, and this will also be equal to rho, that is standing wave ratio, right? And this is equal to 1 by rho, right? Equal to 1 by rho. Now if you want to find what actually is maximum line impedance, if you want to show, if you want to find maximum line impedance is equal to actually what? Z0 times maximum normalized impedance, right? Z0 times maximum normalized impedance. So Z0 here, I think it is 400, right? Z0 is 400 and maximum normalized impedance is 3.8. 3.8. So what is this? What is 400 into 3.8? Can anyone help me out, please? Right, 400 into 3.8. Those who have calculator, please. If you type in, I won't be able to see. Please unmute and tell. 1520. Right. Okay, thank you. 1520. Right. So one request, as I am writing it in another app, if you type in, I won't be able to see. So I request you to unmute and tell. It is 1520, right? 1520 ohm. So this is the maximum impedance. So that is, what is the meaning of that? If you move along the transmission line, ZL is actually what? ZL is a complex quantity, right? That is 120 plus J 160 ohm. But when you move towards this, you will find the maximum impedance at some point, right? At some point, you will find maximum impedance, and that is equal to actually what? 1520 ohm, and that is actually what purely resistive. That is purely resistive. It's not complex, right? That is the maximum impedance. And similarly, when you move further, you'll be able to find minimum impedance, right? So what will be that minimum impedance? That minimum impedance will be, right? Minimum line impedance is right, Z naught into minimum normalized impedance, right? So that is 400 into 0.26. So what is this 400 into 0.26? Are you typing it in? 400 into 0.26? No,
104, sir.
104 ohm, right? So this is the minimum impedance. So along the transmission line, when you move, right, the maximum impedance possible is actually what? 1520. This corresponds to actually what? Vmax by Imin, right? Minimum value of current, right? That is 1520, right? And minimum impedance, that is Vmin by Imax, that will be 104 ohm, right? Both will be purely resistive, right? And right, these two things I hope you understood. How did we find out the maximum and minimum impedance standing wave ratio? So in our question, what and all we found now, right? We had to find maximum normalized impedance, we found minimum normalized impedance, we found, right? Apart from that, we found maximum line impedance and minimum line. That was actually what additional two things which we found, which was not asked in question, right? So that is, if you know what is normalized impedance, from that you can find the actual impedance, provided characteristic impedance is known, right? Then standing wave ratio, we found standing wave ratio rho is equal to actually what? Maximum normalized impedance, and that is equal to 3.8, we found, right? That also we got, right? I told it is numerically equal to. It doesn't mean rho is actually what? 3.8 ohm, right? That is why I'm always telling it is numerically equal to, which means they don't share the same units, right? Normalized impedance have actually what is the unit of normalized impedance actually? If I ask that, what is the unit of normalized impedance? Is it ohm or it's unitless? Normalized impedance, as it is actually what? Impedance by impedance, right? So it's again unitless. So I can say, so even they share unit, not a problem. But right, it's always a good practice to tell numerically equal to, right? Why? Because they happen to be equal, right? That's it, right? So we found standing wave ratio. So then we have to find position of Vmax and position of Vmin, right? Position of Vmax and position of Vmin we have to find, right? For that, right? For that, I'll have to introduce you to some more thing in Smith chart, right? So I have another PDF Smith chart here, which has actually got a good resolution, right? I will use this, right? So this, I can't export it there. Why? Because it is PDF, right? That's it. If I can convert it into JPEG, I could have exported it there, right? But not a problem, right? We'll so when you zoom it in, right? When you zoom it in, right? I'm going to tell now, apart from this constant R and constant X circles, right? You can see some other things as well in this Smith chart, right? Apart from constant R and constant X circles, you can see some scales here, some scales given here, right? Many lines are there. I didn't tell what is that. We have to see what is that, right? If you want to find reflection coefficient, we'll have to use that, right? But and apart from that, you can see some other circles, right? Wavelength towards generator, wavelength towards this and all, right? If you see this, right? Are you seeing wavelength towards generator here? And here, if you see, right, I'm highlighting wavelength towards load. Are you seeing, right? And if you see wavelength towards generator, that is actually shown in clockwise sense. Wavelength towards generator, it is shown in actually what? Clockwise sense, right? Sorry, right? Wavelength towards generator, and you can see it starts from here. This is 0.0, right? And 0.1, 2, 3, like 0.04, right? 0.05, right? Etc. So this is it. When you are moving from the short circuit end towards the generator, I'll repeat, when you are moving from short circuit end towards the generator through the constant SWR circle, right? If you are moving from short circuit end, so this is actually what short circuit end. Right. So this is short circuit end. So from short circuit end, if you are moving in clockwise sense, right, you can see distance in terms of number of wavelengths. Mark here, right? Distance in terms of number of wavelengths. Mark here. So you can see the point number 13. Point number 13 says the distances are in terms of number of wavelengths, which means the distance given us ranging from 0 lambda to 0.5 lambda. The entire circumference is actually what? Lambda by 2. So you can see here, right? So it starts from 0 here, right? And it ends at actually what? 0.49, 0.5 lambda here, right? And similarly, if you see another one, the rotation in, say, anti-clockwise, that is actually what? Distance towards load. There again, you can see 0, 0.00, then all those stuffs marked, right? You can see it there, right? So if from short circuit end, right, distance is marked, right? So here short circuit end point is actually what? 0 distance towards load end and 0 distance towards actually what? Generator end, right? Whatever be it, right? Both, right? So then there are actually what? Scale with which distance is marked, right? So using that scale, we can actually what? Measure the distance between 2 points, right, on Smith chart. That is what I'm going to actually what show next. So next we need to find position of maxima, position of minima, and all those steps, right? For that, right, what I'll do now is, this is our load point. This is our load point, right? So this point C is our load point. So now what I'll do is, right, I'll take a line segment, right? I'll take a line. I'll draw a line segment, right? I'll draw a line, right, which will actually what? Which is a D and it passed through C, right? And I'll extend it so that actually what? I'll extend it so that it meets the outer circle. I'll just show it now, right? I'll just change the color so that you will be able to see, right? Settings, color, right? Color is okay, red, and style thickness also I'll increase, right? So now what I have done is I have just drawn a straight line, right? Straight line, right? Passing through origin and the impedance point, and it will intercept the outer circles. It will intercept the outer circles, right? Now I am going to zoom in and see at what point it is intercepted, right? So now, okay, I should zoom out a bit, right? I should zoom out a bit, right? And then I think I should, right, move up, right? Then, right. So you can see, oh, again I zoomed it in addition, right? So this intercepts, right? If you start towards the generator, so now we are at the load end, right? We are at the load end. So from load end, when we are moving towards the generator, right? So the distance marked here is actually what? We can you? I don't know whether you are able to read this. I'll write it here. It's actually what? It's point. This one is 0.06 and this is 0.07. So it will be 0.06, 0.062, 0.064, 0.066, and it's almost 0.062, right? So now this, right? So when you interpolate this, the line DC, when you interpolate, it will, right, intersect the circle on which wavelength towards generator distance is marked. So that is actually what? 0.062. Now that distance is 0.062. So I'll write it as actually what? DL as 0.062, right? So I'll write it here, right? I'll write it here. I'll write, right, right, this point, right? This is actually what? D1 or DL equal to 0.062 lambda, right? Which means, right, yeah, this point is D1 as 0.062 lambda, right? Now I need to find, right, the position of maxima and minima. I need to find position of maxima and position of minima, right? to find position of maxima, so I would request you to see the point number 9 and point number 10, right? Point number 9 and point number 10, right? So this is open circuit N. So towards right it is open circuit. That is maximum. That corresponds to actually what? Z max or V max or I min, right? Towards right it corresponds to Z max or V max, and towards left it is short circuit, right? So it corresponds to Z min or V min or I max, right? So the first maxima, I'll tell the first maxima will occur. So from this point, now I'll zoom it again. So now what I'm doing is from this load end point, I'm just traveling along the constant SWR circle. I'm just traveling along the constant SWR circle, right? I'm traveling in clockwise sense, which means towards generator, right? Towards generator when I'm moving, right? At this point, at the point E, right, we will have Z max and V max, right? So which means from this point C, from this load end, right, from this load end, if I travel this much distance, I will find first maximum, right? I'll show the corresponding thing in I show the corresponding thing here. So from this load end, if I travel some distance, right, suppose I am seeing first maximum here, so that distance is so here I am getting D1, I got 0.062 lambda, right? And the position corresponding to first maxima, right, what will be that we have to find, right? Position corresponding to, so I'll mark it as D2, right? I'll mark it as D2. We need to find what is that. So for that we should find this point, right? If you draw a line joining D and E where it intersects. So for that I'll take a line, right? I'll take a line segment. I'll take a line segment, right? I'm taking a line segment and I'm joining D and E, right? I'm joining D and E and I'm interpolating it, right? So then I'll just change the color. You won't be able to see that color now. Why? Because it's same as black, right? So I'll just select it here and change the color to red, and I'll increase the thickness. Excuse me, I'll take 3 minutes extra, right? Kindly excuse, right? 3 minutes extra I'll take. I'll just finish telling this, right? So it intersects actually what? If you see, this is actually what the extreme left point is distance 0.0, and the complete circumference is actually what? 0.5 lambda. So this is actually what? Halfway through. So this will be 0.25, right? Extreme right point, that will be 0.25, right? Maybe, oh sorry, I just messed up with everything, right? Okay, fine, right? I was not supposed to, right? So this will be 0.25. You can see that it will be 0.25, right? I'll just show it here, right? Extreme right point, it is equal to at extreme right point, that will be equal to 0.25, right? Distance is halfway through, that is 0.25. So D2, right, position of maxima, I'm going to write down as, right, position of maxima I'm going to write down as, right, D2, and that will be equal to 0.25 lambda, right? So I'm writing it down here, right? So here I am writing, oh my god, I didn't select the pen, that's why it happened, right? I use the move tool to draw, so entire Smith chart got moved, right? Sorry, I'll take 3 more minutes, that's it, 3 extra minutes, that's it, right? Please cooperate, right? So this point, right, that is actually what? D2, that is position of maxima, that is equal to 0.25 lambda, right? So the separation between the load end and the position of maxima is actually what? Load end, the D value is actually what? 0.062 lambda, right? And D2, it is actually what? 0.25 lambda. So what will be the separation between load end and maxima, right? Separation between load end and maxima, right? So I'll write here separation between load end and position of V max, it is equal to actually what? It will be equal to, right, D1, difference between D1 and D2, right? The difference between D1 and D2, that much times lambda. So this lambda, right, it's actually what it's understood, it's not written, it's written 0.062, 0.25. So can anyone tell me what is difference between 0.25, 0.25 minus 0.062? Right, what is the difference between 0.25 and 0.062? Please, can anyone tell me? This much times of lambda, right? So these are actually what in terms of number of lambda. So if I need actual distance, I should multiply it with lambda, right? Lambda is not given. What is it? 0.25 minus 0.062?
0.188.
Right. So that is 0.188 lambda, right? So 0.188 lambda. So I'll tell you what does that just now we obtained, right? So from load end, if you travel a distance of 0.188 lambda, right, you will find first maxima. So if lambda is given to be equal to 4 centimeter, right, then 0.188 into 4 centimeter, that much if you travel from load end, you will be able to find first maxima, right? And similarly, I'm going to wind up, right, if you want to find minima, right, if you want to find minima, what you should do is you should start from this load end, and then you have to travel actually what, all the way, you will find first maxima here, then you should travel till here towards the generator end to find first minima. So the left hand side point along real axis, so this is actually what first minima point. So to find what is the first minima point, you should travel from actually what, you should start from the point with d equal to 0.062, right? You should come through, right? So this is actually this rightmost end is 0.25 lambda, then you should reach back, right? If you see the leftmost side, it will be actually about 0.5 lambda. That is the end point, right? 0.5 lambda. So the position of minima will be, V min will be, right? So I'll write D3, right? V min will be 0.5 minus 0.062 times lambda. So can anyone tell me what is this 0.5 minus 0.062? Or else you add 0.25 to this, right? That also is possible. So till here is actually what, from here to here, from this distance is 0.188 lambda, right? So from maxima point to reach minima point, I should travel another lambda by 4, right? Or 0.25 I should travel. So either you can add plus 0.25 to it, or else you can find 0.5 minus 0.062. Can anyone tell me what is this position of minima? Can anyone tell me 0.5 minus 0.062?
0.438.
0.438, right? 0.438 lambda, right? So this much lambda, if you travel from the load end, you will find first minima. Then it will repeat every lambda by 2, right? So that is what we have done today. So I'll just quickly recap and we'll end. So what we did is we saw how to locate a impedance point on Smith chart, right? Then we know how to draw a constant standing wave ratio circle. And if constant standing wave ratio circle is drawn, it will intersect the real axis on 2 points. The rightmost point corresponds to Z max, V max, rho or I min, and the leftmost point on real axis corresponds to Z min, V min, I max, and 1 by rho. So from that we can find Z max, Z min, rho, 1 by rho, whatever we can find, right? Then we saw how to find the position, right? So we have actually what, 2 circles with distance towards generator and distance towards load marked in terms of number of wavelength. So when I say 0.062, it is actually what, 0.062 times lambda, right? So using that, we just now we found what is how to find the position of maxima and minima in terms of distance from load end, right? So first we located the point where this actually what load end intercepts with the distance towards generator. So it was 0.062 lambda, right? So we noted it down. Then we know the maxima will occur at 0.25 lambda, right? Maxima will occur at 0.25 lambda. So separation between 0.062 lambda and 0.25 lambda, that was 0.188 lambda, that gave us position of maxima from the load end, distance from load end, right? Then even if I continue further, right, I can reach the minima point. So that distance also we found. That's what we did, right? So now I know you will have lots of doubts, right? So if you have any doubt, please feel free to ask, right? Please feel free to ask, right? Any doubt? Is it clear? Like I'm really sorry. This how it would have done is I would have given a hard copy of the Smith chart everyone, and I would have drawn it on board, and I would have asked everyone to try it out at the same time simultaneously. But because of this online class, right, we are struggling. Right, you saw in between actually what the Smith chart orientation, that shape got distorted, but even then, right, everything was intact for us. Right, so I hope it is clear, right? And you can see we don't have to do any calculations. It's just actually what set of procedures. If you know what actually is Smith chart, then everything will be done within no time, right? So now please tell me, Smith chart or this complex analytical equations, which is better?
Smith chart, sir.
Smith chart is better, right? Right. Okay, I need someone else other than Savan also to answer me, right? Can anyone else? Right. Okay, maybe I'm not right. Stretching the class. It's already 7 minutes. Right. I've taken extra 7 minutes. So if you have any doubts, feel free to ask later. Right. So now just type in your USN in chat window and up we can leave. Thank you so much for joining, and sorry that I took some extra 7 minutes. Right. And if anyone has any doubt and want to ask now itself, can stay back. I'm ready to stay back. Right.
Sir, post yesterday's video, sir. I didn't
Yesterday's
find
video,
yesterday.
yeah, yesterday's video. What happened is in between there was a lot of break, right? So
Yes,
that's
sir.
why I didn't post, right? So what I'll do is I'll post A sections video, or else both I'll post. Right.
Okay, sir. Anything is fine.
Anything would be fine. Like what I was doing is whichever has, like, normally if that's why I didn't post this. Otherwise I wanted to post that. So I have to post this yesterday's video, then this GeoGebra simulation, and Smith chart, JPEG and PDF. Everything I'll post today. Right.
Okay, sir.
Right. Yeah. So please, right, as and when we are taking, we are covering portions, you just try to learn that. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult at the end. Learning everything on your own, right? It's not a subject like that. It will take a lot of time if you are trying to learn on your own, right? Reading and understanding, right? Even some of the concept, I should frankly admit, right? Recently only, right? When I was studying my BTech and all, I didn't know anything, right? When I started teaching, first time when I taught, I was not clear about that. Second time, right? When it's second time, actually, what I got little bit of clarity, right? So it's little bit difficult. I admit that. So for that, one thing what you should do is you should put effort from your side. That's it. Yeah. Thank you. So we'll end our session here. Thank you so much for joining.